The Invisible Latino in America. This is from 2019. So let me see. The Tom Brokaw is just the latest media personality ignorant of the breadth of Latino contributions to this fine country to speak out. His comments on Meet the Press asserting that Hispanics, Latino, American Latino, and Hispanics are used interchangeably here. So they're pointing out right there, they said Hispanics. And before they continued, they put in parentheses Latino, American Latino, and Hispanic are used interchangeably here. So again, this is them with the 3-card Monty thing. This is them with the 3-card Monty thing. So they said they should work hard at assimilating, was rightly received with outrage and backlash from the Latino community. So Tom Brokaw made some statement about how white Latinos need to assimilate and become more American. And he received a lot of backlash from the Latino community. So remember, in the sentence before, the writer said Hispanic. His comments asserting that Hispanic should work harder at assimilating. And she said was rightly received. I think it was a she. Is this a she or who wrote this? Abigail. Yeah, Abigail Golden wrote this. He said, she said, she started off saying, on Meet the Press, Tom Brokaw asserted that Hispanics should work harder at assimilating. And then she says, it was rightfully received with outrage and backlash from the Latino community. So again, those terms being used interchangeably, although they have different meanings. By the way, family, they do have different meanings. They're really not as interchangeable the way that they use them. They're not as interchangeable as they make it seem. So anyway, let me continue. She said, though Latinos represent nearly 1 in 5 Americans today and are projected to account for nearly 1 in 3 Americans by 2060, there is very little in our public dialogue that accurately represents who we are and what we contribute to this nation. So again, this is them trying to sell themselves as being, like I said, first of all, part of the foundation of the United States of America, and she's going to get into that in a little bit. But also, they trying to sell them as being, trying to sell themselves as being indisposable to a certain degree, as being very much needed in order for America to be great, in order for America to be what it is. It wouldn't be what it is without us Hispanics. This is what they're selling here. This is why we need to be accepted for who we are. Because remember, let me remind y'all. Back in the days, the biggest, I think LULAC is, I think they still like the biggest Hispanic organization out there, a Hispanic advocacy organization out there. But back in the days, United States had put, and I forgot what year this was. I want to say it was like in the 1940s or something like that. They have gave them their own racial category in the U.S. Census. They were going to put Mexican American on the U.S. Census, and the Mexicans fought back. The LULAC organization fought back for them to be classified as white. They said no. We don't want our own classification. There was like dude on Tariq's space right there. We don't want to be called Mexicans. They were fighting for the right to be classified as white. Right? But here they are now today. Now that they feel like they got their weight up, you know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be the new majority, minority, and all of that. And a lot of them are in political positions and this, that, and the third. So now they're pushing back from the white supremacists who want them to assimilate. Before they were trying to assimilate. No, we white. We white just like you. I want to be white just like me and you, remember? I don't want to be Hispanic anymore. No, I don't want to gangbang no more. I'm not Mexican. I'm white just like me and you. They was on that shit before. And so now Tom Brokaw was telling them, y'all need to do better at assimilating. Meaning y'all bringing too much of that Spanish culture, that Hispanic culture, that Latino culture. Y'all bringing too much of that shit with y'all over here. Y'all need to learn how to speak English. You know what I'm saying? Take off the sombreros. Start being white. This is what the white community was trying to tell them. We bringing y'all over here so we can look like our numbers are better, because our numbers as white people are suffering. and we need reinforcements. So we're allowing you white passing Hispanics to come over here because we need to pretend that y'all white just like us so that we can still appear to be the majority number wise. But y'all acting too damn ethnic. So y'all need to start assimilating more. And now they feel like they got their weight up where they like, no. Yeah, we don't mind being a little white. We definitely still want a little whiteness. If you can sprinkle some of that whiteness over here, but we holding on to our culture though. We're not trying to let go of our sombreros and our Spanish and our tacos and all of that. No, we still trying to hold tight to our culture. So they pushing back a little bit because they feel like they got their weight up. So let me carry on. Let me continue on. Hold on. The Latinos represent. Let me see. Where was I? So she said, there's very little in our public dialogue that accurately represents who we are and what we contribute to this nation. Locked into one-dimensional narratives about immigration or neglected in our primary black and white narratives of America. Latinos, listen to this. Latinos, like Native Americans and Asians, are rarely see themselves represented at all, let alone accurately. So she said, I agree with Tom Brokaw on one thing. Latinos today are not assimilating. So again, this is them pushing back against the assimilation. A word that implies leaving our culture behind and adopting the dominant culture instead. She said, instead, we are acculturating. We learn English, adopt cultural norms, serve in the military at higher ratios than any other group. Again, they selling themselves as being invaluable, as being indisposable at higher ratios than other groups. We value education and hard work as a path to mobility, but increasingly, we also value and maintain our language and roots, bringing great richness to this country. So they saying, yeah, we're going to be white, but we're going to be white Hispanics. We're going to be white Hispanics. All right. So the common narrative, check this out. This goes along with what old boy was saying on the thesis, right? The common narrative is that Latinos are immigrants who don't speak English and take jobs from real Americans. So this is why, and it says quote unquote real Americans, by the way, quote unquote real Americans. This is why old boy was saying he didn't want to identify as Mexican, because being Mexican puts him in the immigrant category. But he's saying my family been here. So he's trying to say we're non-immigrants, as what were they called? Tajinos or whatever he said they was called down there. He said us Tajinos, we're not immigrants. This is our country, is what he's trying to say. So again, the common narrative is that Latinos are immigrants who don't speak English and who take jobs from quote unquote real Americans. In fact, listen to this. The growth in Latino population today is driven by U.S. births. Again, that's them trying to say we're not immigrants. Hispanics become English dominant by second generation. In 2016, Hispanics accounted for 16.8% of the labor force and are net drivers of new business growth, surpassing any other group, including non-Hispanic white Americans. They saying, look, white mommy and daddy, we doing better than y'all. We doing better than y'all. You know what I'm saying? They trying to be the new colonizers. You understand, family? This is why the conversation about hip hop is so important, because that's what that's about. Them trying to lay claim to being co-creators of hip hop is going to turn into them saying we got it from them. That's them trying to steal our culture away. This is them trying to be the new colonizers. It sounds to me like they done playing second fiddle. They feel like they got enough numbers and they got enough political clout that they trying to shake off the Anglos and they want to be the new big dogs. Hmm? Listen to what she's saying, family. Listen to what she's saying. Let me read that again. The common narrative is that Latinos are immigrants who don't speak English and take jobs from quote unquote real Americans. In fact, the growth in Latino population today is driven by U.S. births. Hispanics become English dominant by second generation. In 2016, Hispanics account for 16.8% of the labor force and are net drivers of new business growth, surpassing any other group, including non-Hispanic white Americans. America's growth would look a lot more like Europe's were it not for Latinos. So this is them again telling the Anglo whites, y'all might want to get y'all weight up. We doing a little bit better than y'all now. This is what she's saying.